Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to our 2024-2025 new Premier League season. Um, I've been off videos for nearly half a year. I was away working, so I haven't really had much time to get back into it. But I've said I'll do a few at the start of the season anyway and see how work goes. Um, so this is our first Premier League match with Ernie Slot as manager, with Klopp leaving. Um, he's had a very good pre-season. So you can see that a lot of the style he wants to bring in is a more possession game rather than the heavy metal football we're probably used to. It's more patient build-up. But he had some good results in the States in pre-season, and we beat Arsenal, we beat Sevilla, and we also beat Manchester United 3-0. So there was some good results in pre-season, and that has continued into the first game of this season when we played newly promoted Ipswich Town. I think they're in Portman Road from memory. Look, the atmosphere was bouncing. You can tell that they haven't been in the league in 20 years. They created an amazing atmosphere on the TV. That's from what we could see. I thought the first half we were very slow to start, would be a polite way of saying we were shit. We didn't play well at all. Ipswich were all over us, and only for Allison making some half decent saves, I think things could have got really bad. It was a banana skin for us, and they're the type of games we tend to lose in seasons gone by. But the manager made some, solid substitutions, changed the direction of the game. At half time, he took Kwanzaa off, brought on Kanate, who was excellent in the half he played, and it fixed the problem. They had a big number 9, I can't remember his name now, but from Ipswich, but he was a real handful. He was very tall, and he was giving them a torrid time in the first half, but with Kanate at the back with Van Dijk, it was a much better second half. Also, Trent had an amazing game, both in defence, which I've been very critical of, and on the attack in the second half. So I am going to do a player rating. So this is just a review, and then I'll do a player ratings afterwards. Look, I haven't been impressed with FSG, as everyone knows. I'm not one of their biggest fans. I thought that, and still think that, the summer transfer window will not wield in any players. It looks like, another barren summer for us. I think it's going to be, we're going to go with what we have and try again in January. So what Slot has done, to his credit, he's brought in Gravenberch in midfield as a 6 in a double pivot with McAllister, and with Slobosly as our midfield trio. And at times we were cooking, especially in the second half. First half was shocking, but the second half I thought we were excellent at times. Our season depends on a lot of things. We need our full team to stay injury free, obviously. We need Jota not to get injured, because he's a massive part of us going forward, getting good results. And we need this Diaz shit sorted out. If he's going, he's going. If he's staying, he needs to come out and say he's staying. He's 3 years left on his contract, but things like that are just going to unsettle the fan base. It looks like that goalkeeper we were looking at, Julius Philly, that Greek boy, he looks like he might be going to Manchester United. It seems like we fucked up there as well. There was a lot of excitement when Edwards came back as a director of football, in a new role with, a lot of fanfare as he came back. But I don't know whether the transfer season has moved on from him. He's been out of it too long, or maybe Ernie Slot isn't the manager that attracts the players like Jurgen Klopp did, but we haven't seemed to be able to attract the players we've wanted. Zubamendi stayed, obviously, with Real Sociedad. Very disappointing. and we're just going to have to go with who we've got. We've obviously got Endo that can play in there. I think we're getting Bjordic is gone on loan, which is crazy to me. If he's fit to play, he should be given a chance. He was doing really well until that injury, and we obviously sold some players as well, which I don't know. The young boy Clark, I think, should have been kept. Wherever about Carvalho, you know, I didn't really rate him anyway. I know he had a good pre-season, but I wasn't a fan. And 30 million was good business considering we only paid about 7 for him. But I don't see the Bobby Clark. I don't see the benefit of selling him at all. I don't see what we were doing there. We should have loaned him out. 10 million is nothing in today's money, in today's market for footballers. I just think we fucked up with that one. So the summer was disappointing and still is, and I know there's a few days left in the window, but I don't expect anything to be done. But you never know, we might get somebody in. And it really does depend on who stays fit, and but there's been a lot of promising signs from Ernie Slot. He's a no-nonsense guy. He doesn't pull any punches in interviews. And as much as refreshing as that is from the fans to hear a manager just speak his mind, I don't know what that's going to be like on player morale as the season kicks in and we're playing 2-3 times a week, and he's criticising and calling out players. Hopefully they're man enough to move on and just get on with it, but I have a sneaky suspicion that could cause problems later on. Footballers are princesses. The days of yesteryear are well and truly over when it comes to footballers putting up with any shit at all, really. They hold all the cards. Football clubs really don't. But anyway, look, a good start, 3 points, a banana skin of a game. The Ipswich were at home, they just come up. First day, everyone has aspirations of, what the season is going to bring. So it was always going to be a hard game. And they, in the first half, I think they just ran out of steam. It'll be interesting to see how we move forward when a team doesn't run out of steam and we play that poorly as we did in the first half. But time will tell. Slot has, a big squad, he thinks, to do the job, and I hope he does. I'm going to do the player ratings next. I'll see you soon. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to our player ratings from our You'll Never Walk Alone fan channel and WhatsApp group. Okay, so in goal, we're going to start with Alisson. I thought he was excellent as always. I'm going to give him 7, 6 being the average. I'm going to give him a solid 7 out of 10. He made some good saves, especially in the first half when we were a bit all over the place. He's such a great goalkeeper. Right back Trent, he's getting an 8. I thought Trent was excellent. I've criticised his defending in the past, but in the first half he was excellent, especially with one-on-one. And then in the second half, as our attacking outlet bursting through from midfield, I thought he was amazing. So Trent's getting an 8. Kwanzaa's getting a 6. I thought he put in a few good blocks, but he really struggled with that big boy up front. And was torn apart a little bit in the first half, and he was hooked at half time. I'm going to give Kanate a 7 just for the simple reason that his presence at the back solidified us at the back especially, and I thought he was very good. Then we're going to have Virgil. He's getting a 7. I thought he did well. Another typical Virgil performance. Robbo 6. I thought Rob was a bit scrappy in the first few minutes of the game, but he did come into it, especially in the second half. Midfield, where games are won and lost for us. Gravenberch, who played in a double pivot with Alexis McAllister. I'm going to give Gravenberch an 8 and McAllister a 7. I thought Gravenberch was amazing. It was probably his best game in a Liverpool shirt, if I'm being honest. He had a fantastic game. Slobosly is getting an 8. He was very good in the second half as well. Up front, I'm going to go with 8 and my man of the match for Mo Salah, an assist and a goal. It's people want to sell him to Saudi Arabia and get the money in so we can buy someone else. We're not going to replace him. We might as well, if he runs out his contract, so be it. We don't. He doesn't owe us nothing. The amount of we paid 40 something million for him, and the amount of goals and medals he's won us, and trophies and games. Jota is getting an 8. I thought he would have had an 8. He's excellent. Everything he hits goes towards the goal. He's got such an eye for goal. I'm going to give Diaz a 7. Again, you know, a lot of energy from him, a lot of running, a lot of intricate play, but his end product needs to improve. I'm going to give Slot a 9. First Premier League game we've won at the start of the season, as far as I can remember back. I think the commentator said something like 12, 13 years, but I don't think that's true. I pretty remember we had Norwich in one of the first games of the season, we won 3-0. I think that was back in 2012 or 13. I'm not sure, but I don't think it's as long as they were making it on television. So we move on to the next one. I think we're only playing a game a week for the first few weeks of the season, which would be good to get the fitness into the players' legs. As I said, I'm not worried about the start of the season. We've got United as the third game at Old Trafford. That's going to be a test. I think United have strengthened and have done pretty good business in the window. And I think that they're a better proposition than they were last season. Arsenal are very strong. I expect them to run Manchester City close. City, for me, are still, you know, unless something happens with these 115 charges, I think it's Manchester City's to lose. I don't see them, you know, they pretty much tore Chelsea apart at Stamford Bridge yesterday and looked very comfortable doing it. It was never in doubt as far as the contest goes. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, as the season progresses, how strong they are. But they got off to a good start. Arsenal got off to a winning start. We got off to a winning start. You know, there was no real shocks on the first week of the season. Like, I don't think anyone that wasn't supposed to win didn't win. So we move on to next week. As I said, the first couple of months, I don't think we're going to be too bad. I think we'll be all right. But I worry when as the games start coming in, we start getting cup games, the Carabao Cup games, and then fucking the Champions League. I really want to do well in the Champions League this year. You know, I'd like to get to the semi-final at least. I don't know if that's feasible, but I would really like that. And, you know, I wish Slot the best for the season to come. I think from the bits I've seen of him, and we haven't seen that much about him, the interviews and, you know, the way we've played in the first 4 or 5 games that I've watched with him as manager, he seems to know what he's doing. He seems to have a style of play, which is all we can ask for. And look, the pressure's going to be on him if we lose, and when we lose, he'll be, you know, it's just another Ten Hag and, you know, all that shite. But if he can avoid, you know, silly mistakes and he can get, you know, good run of games going at the start, the fans will back him no matter what. The prestige of the Liverpool manager with the fans, the manager's number one, and always has been, and rightly so. More so at our club than most. So I expect him to have, you know, the support of everybody. But I think he was being let down by FSG and the owners. I don't think they've supported him. All this bullshit we were hearing that there's money available to bring players in, and, you know, and he wants to have a look at players. And, well, he doesn't have a fucking television. Come on now. Every fucking Premier League player is micro-sized and is unavailable on your mobile phone to look at. You don't need to see players up close. I can tell you how fucking good or bad they're going to be. If you asked any of the fans what's lacking is strength and depth in certain positions, 6 being the obvious one. 3 years we've been waiting on that fucking 6 and we still haven't got one. It's just shameful. And Chutamani, fucking Bellingham, Lafia, Casado, and now Zubamendi. We haven't managed to get in any of them. We're a fucking joke. when it comes to transfers. We really are. And, you know, unless these are kids with potential, we don't seem to want to get any ready-made players in at all. You know, we got McAllister for cheap. That was the only reason why we got him. You know, it's pennies and halfpenny shit, and it's really embarrassing for the fourth richest club in the world, you know. And yeah, all you see is that FSG want to buy the Boston Celtics, and the most expensive franchise in the world, or whatever it is. And some of our fan base just let them away with all this shit and don't say a word. But when it comes back to haunt us, which it will, I expect them same fans to defend FSG and all the rest of it like they have in the past. But I want them out. I don't think they're good owners. All right, that's my 2 cents. On to the next one, and I'll take it, and I'll see you then. All right.